So now that you've gotten your prime times out, I want to talk a little bit about what you did on Friday, which was you had to determine the difference between speed and velocity. I don't know, you might want your notes out. Maybe you know this already, but what's the difference between speed and velocity? Anybody got it for me? Velocity, Connor. Yes. Okay. So now this is prime time number 2. Okay. The difference between speed and velocity. Velocity is speed in a direction. Now, what else has a direction? Last week, Thursday, we talked about 2 things, distance and displacement. Which one of those has a direction to it? Displacement, right? Displacement is giving you a distance and a direction to travel. Okay, now, if Sam and Thomas drive 200 miles, also, for the record, never ever in the next 9 weeks that we do this, is the answer gonna pop up in scrolling marquee on my forehead. So now is the time that you need to take out your calculators because we don't have time to stare blankly at each other while no one does anything except me. And I already know this stuff and I don't need to do it. So, absolutely. If Sam and Thomas drive 200 miles in 2.5 hours to visit their mom, how fast were they going? So, I'm going to do this as a reminder to you. This is my little speed triangle, right? And if you follow along here, distance and then speed and time. This line is division. This line is multiplication. So the things that I need for you to have in a problem, if you're looking for how fast, what are you looking for? Speed, distance, or time? You're looking for speed. This is your unknown, which means what's left? Distance divided by time. Okay. Now the distance, how far are they going? 200 miles. Divided by a time of 2.5 hours. Now remember, speed is what I call a derived unit, which means miles per hour is my unit. When you take 200 divided by 2.5, what do you get? 80. 80 miles per hour. Okay. Number 3, if a car is moving 50 miles per hour and travels 30 miles, how long did the journey take? What are they asking for? Speed, distance, or time? They're asking for time. So if I put my finger over the time one here, what am I left with? So time equals distance divided by speed. What can I do for you? What do you need? You got it? Okay. So what's my distance? 30 miles. What am I going to divide by? A speed of 50 miles per hour. Now, this one, I didn't set it up this way, but I can cross off my common units, which means what am I left with? Hours. And what do you get when you take 30 divided by 50? 0.6 hours. Now, the other thing that I just want to point out is when we do these problems, and we're going to be doing them for a while, you got to have equation, number substitution, answer, and unit. each problem that we do for the next 9 or 10 weeks is going to be worth 4 points apiece. So just make sure that you get into the habit of putting those things down, even on your prime times. Okay. Today we're going to do a little bit of lab. We're going to apply what we know. Mrs. Richards, would you hand those out real quick? So here's what you're going to need. You're going to need something to write on. Got it? Okay. Now, I've already got a course set up in the competition gym, okay? So you're not going to need masking tape. You're not going to need a marker. You're not going to need a meter stick. You are going to need a timer. And if you want to use your phone, that's fine by me. Okay. I also, if you don't want to use your phone, I have stopwatches over here. All right. So we're going to go to the competition gym. When we walk down there, remember that there are classes going on, so you need to walk just quietly, okay? You can be noisy when we get down there, but just walk quietly through the hallways. And I have, yes, sir. No, I would say the only thing you need to take with you is a pencil, this paper, and something to write on. It won't take us but 12 minutes, and then we'll be back here, okay? So the way that you're going to do this is you're going to want a partner. And just for ease sake, how about you just use your elbow partner? Grace, do you have an elbow partner? Would you and Nick be partners then? Jacob, would you and Kane be partners then? Do you see Trevor? Would you and Caden be partners then? Okay. All right. So you're going to time each other. And if you look at the tasks, you will see that you will be hopping, walking backwards, walking regular, and speed walking. Okay. Now, none of these require you to have a really high fitness level. This is not going to produce in you anxiety or sweat or anything. You just have to move. You can do that. I know you can. All right. Speed walking is going as fast as you can without jogging or running. Okay. We will not participate in any warm-up activities, so do not pull a hamstring. You're just doing this for some times. Okay. Now, when you go to time someone, do you stand at the start or the finish? The finish. Okay. So one of you will be timing the other one, doing the activities, writing the things down. All I need for you to do when we are in the competition gym is get times. And would you please write the times to the nearest hundredth? So if 5 meters of hopping takes 2.37 seconds, I don't know how long it's going to take, but just take it to the 100th. Okay. All right. Okay. So you should have a calculator. Now, if you don't have your own, you know that I have some back there. Mrs. Heidebrink, are there any more back there? Okay. So if you need a calculator, just grab one. Now, I can't do all the math for you. You're going to have to do your own math. So now, speed, what is the equation for speed? Yep. Speed is equal to distance divided by time, which means you're going to take distance and divide it by your time. I'm going to give you about 4 minutes to do that. All right, I'm just going to give you a couple examples up here. So let's just say that your speed for hopping 5 meters was 1.34. Okay, and that's meters per second. And then let's say your speed for hopping 10 meters was 1.64 meters per second. Which one of those times is faster? 1.64, right? Because 1.64 is more meters per second. So when you look at speed, you have to look at it a little bit differently than time. Because when you look at 1.34, you're like, oh, okay, well, that's fine, but 1.64 is slower. No, 1.64 seconds is slower, but 1.64 meters per second is faster than 1.3 meters per second. Okay, now go to the back. Now, the thing about these questions is that these questions are all based on your individual data. Okay, so when you look at these questions, it says which task and distance resulted in the fastest speed. That's just for you. So you have to go back and look at your data on this page. Now, the only other thing that I want to walk you through is questions 3, 4, 5, and 6. Number 3 asks, how far? What are they asking for? Speed, distance, or time?
Speed.
They're asking for distance, right? And remember that distance is on top and speed times time. This first column right here, this is for the equation. So if they want to know how far, distance is equal to speed times time. If they're asking how long, what are they asking you for? Speed, distance, or time? They're asking you for time. Time is equal to distance divided by speed. Now, all of this is based on your data. How far could you travel? What are they asking you for? Speed, distance, or time? They're asking you for how far. Is that speed, distance, or time? Distance. Distance is equal to speed times time. How long would it take? What are they asking you for? Speed, distance, or time? Time. Time is equal to distance divided by speed. Then you have to look at your results. So you should probably be able to get finished with all of this by the end of the hour and get that bad boy handed in.